Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's another Thursday, and we are at the Empowering You Show. I'm glad you showed up. As a matter of fact, you might want to know why we do the Empowering You Show. Glad you asked. We do the Empower You Show because we are showcasing small business owners or people in the community that are doing phenomenal things. And today is no different. But before I introduce you to our spectacular guest, I want to introduce you to the co host of the Empowering You Show, the sensationally smooth, always sassy, smart, and spicy, Shawnee Smith.
Wait, I'm looking to see if that was me. That's me, right? I'm so grateful to be here. I'm so grateful to have such a wonderful guest. But Barbara, I'm so grateful to you because you allowed me to use a voice that I did not use for the longest time. So I am so happy,
I am so happy.
so honored to share the screen with you.
Let me tell you what. Right before we get to Kathy, our guest, Shawnee has always had this gift of humor and, like I say, spicy. And she just was hiding under a bushel. And you can't hide a lamp. You can't hide a light under a bushel, not for very long, right? And so I saw it and I was like, why is she minimalizing her greatness? And so I gave her the opportunity to be on the show. And at first, she was a little bit apprehensive about letting her light shine. But man, once she did, the world was just like excited to see her come on the show. So our ratings have been really well. We broadcast to over 200 countries on Roku, Amazon Fire, and a whole host of other internet providers. So we're glad you're here. We're glad to introduce to you our guest, Kathy Sikorsky. Yes, it sounds exactly how it's spelled. So, Esquire, she's a speaker, elder, lawyer, author, and media personality, and she is the guest that's going to unravel complex financial and legal problems that caregivers experience. You know, we are in a caregiver crisis. Kathy uses her caregiver experience and expertise to educate, edutain, and elevate the conversation around work, money, aging, and caregiving. Oh my God, I wish you were here when my father was going through this and I was the caregiver. Her latest book was released in October 2021, 12 Conversations, How to Talk to Almost Anyone About Long-Term Care Planning. Oh my God, I would normally think that's a fork in the eye conversation, but she's got 12 conversations that she showed up on Huffington Post, AARP. I started to say AARP, and is a shoe source expert for Women's Media Center. Her one act play, which I cannot wait to view, all caregiving aside, was performed by Writers Theater of New Jersey and Keene University, Healing Voices on Stage. Sikorsky serves on the board of directors of Nancy's House, sounds like Natasha House that I support as well, a nonprofit dedicated to respite for caregivers. Oh, we got to talk about that. She can be found all over the place on social, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And her website is, guess what? KathySikorsky.com. How about that? Where she has a blog, You Just Have to Laugh, where caregiving is comedy. Help me welcome to our stage, Kathy Sikorsky.
Thank you. Although honestly, I just want to be the spicy girl like Shawnee.
You can bring some spice into your life. You just drop me your address.
That's it. Okay, we're there.
Oh, and she's so not kidding. She's so modest. You see, she's wearing a chef jacket, right? She is a chef with her own line of spices called Can Do Spice. And they are not just spices just to flavor up your stuff, although it is all of that. But she brings them with healthful blends. So ashwagandha, burdock root. Did I get that right, Shawnee?
You did. Black sea moss, those things have been added in. And it's fate that we would be talking about this, because it came about because I was a caregiver for my mom. And the only way I could give her anything was through her food. That is how the idea was birthed. So,
Yeah.
See, circle.
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm only in my,
So awesome.
And you're only
All
what,
right.
Shoni?
I said, I'm only in my 20s and I was a caregiver.
Yeah, yeah. 25% of these 50 or 60 million, because nobody knows the number, are in their 20s and 30s. Everybody
For
thinks it's
whatever
old
reason,
people.
Barbara's laughing. It's apparently because I'm lying, but I'm a
But
little bit older than that. So just saying.
but truthfully, that's actually a real thing, right? And people think it's all old people like me, but it's not. It's lots of young people. Yeah.
talk
As
to
a matter
us
of fact,
about
I
it.
started in my 30s with my
Yeah.
grandmother. So
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
The
So
numbers that
when
that
I was 32, my grandmother, who was 92, came to live with me and my 2-year-old.
90.
2 was the magic number.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a blessing in itself.
And hilarious and daunting. And I mean, we had a dog, I had a husband, it was a crazy time, a crazy, crazy time. And I wrote a book about that. That was just to entertain me, quite frankly, because it was just nutty times. But that's become the norm, right? We're having our elders move in with us, and mostly women, are taking care of people. I always say to people, these these family caregivers they say, they're not family caregivers or working caregivers. They're working people. They're working somewhere else.
Yes.
They're just not working as caregivers except when they get home for free, right?
Right.
So their life is hard, and we can make it a little bit easier. We can give them tips and tools to help them out, and we can just let them know that there's lots and lots of resources out for them, because it feels very isolating to be a caregiver. You don't really know how much is out there to help you, and there's a ton. They're really
And I was
truly.
one of them who didn't reach out, because I guess I was in this place where whatever cape I thought I was wearing, that I should just be able to do all these different things, and it shouldn't be this hard. And it's your mom. You have to do it. You should do it. It shouldn't you feel guilty about feeling overwhelmed, So I didn't
Yes,
get any resources.
guilt, the gift that keeps on giving.
She's funny. Woo!
Right?
You talking about taking great and grateful for me? I'm
Yeah.
writing that down. The gift,
Yes.
guilt, the gift that
It keeps on giving. And the thing is, Shawnee, by getting help or using resources or whatever, you weren't doing any less for your mom. You were just wanting to do more that maybe you couldn't really do because you couldn't stretch yourself one more inch of that rubber band, right? So, like I said, there's so many resources out there, but I just want to tell you the 2 most important things. I don't ever want to forget to say this, and we have such a short period of time. The 2 most important things that anybody can do listening to this, at least in the United States, but truly it's true in some other countries as well, is you've got to get powers of attorney, because those are documents that allow you to take care of your sick person, right?
Okay.
And this is the thing. Everybody thinks wills are most important, and wills are great. They're important, but
Yes,
wills are for dead people, and powers of attorney are for live people who are sick and who need help. And
that
that's who we're talking about, right?
That just happened in my family 2 weeks ago. My cousin had a stroke, and she had talked to her mom, and her mom was the one who had the stroke, and she has a power of attorney, but she didn't know where it was.
Okay, but hopefully they'll find it, right? Hopefully they'll find it, because
but the importance is her mom can't do anything.
Right, nothing.
She has to do it.
Yep. And people won't talk to her. People won't,
no.
especially on the financial side, especially on the financial side. They
So
won't let her
really
in the
good.
bank. They won't
That's
talk to her
really
about
good.
what kind of investments mom might have. They won't let her deal with the real estate or pay the taxes. I mean, it is horrifying if you don't have those documents. And
Right.
her mom, in this case, perfect example, may not be able to sign them now because she
Yeah.
might not be considered legally competent to sign a
Well,
legal document.
It's not even legally competent.
She just
she's
doesn't.
paralyzed.
So there you go. Perfect example. As much as I hate to say it, that's a
You know, the
perfect
side that
example.
the writing side, the right
Mhm.
side of her,
You
the
can't
left side had the issue.
stroke. Hmm.
The right side is not functional, and so although she's comprehending, she also
I've
can't articulate that much.
she could actually do an
Do an
X.
X, yeah.
They would let you do that as long as everybody agreed that she understood what she was signing, right?
Right.
But time is nigh. And let me just say, everybody thinks they need to do this for their mom or their dad or their
You do it
elders.
for self.
Yeah, hello. You can walk outside right now and get hit by a bus.
Yeah.
If you are 18 years of age or older, you have to have a power of attorney for finances and for healthcare, even if you don't own anything. Because even if you want to get government benefits, because now you're going to get Social Security, you have to have someone who can take care of those things.
That's
So
information, Kathy.
lots of ways to do that. But if you're a person of assets, I am strongly going to suggest that you go see an attorney, because especially in Pennsylvania where I live, we are super snarky about our powers of attorney. They
Yes, they
have to
were.
have very important language. Where are you, Barbara? Maryland?
I'm in Virginia.
Virginia. My daughter's in Virginia. Same.
Shawnee's in Delaware.
Okay.
Although we
So
both have the Brooklyn Bridge, we're both from Brooklyn. We're both.
yeah, that's nice. But samesies, this little East Coast enclave here, we're very picky about this stuff. And so you've got to do that.
Yeah.
You just got to do it. Those are the two things: power of attorney for money and power of attorney for healthcare.
That is such good
And
information.
nobody thinks about that.
No.
I know.
I just went through it and I still didn't think about it for myself.
Right.
You know, that wasn't even a thing that I thought about.
For
Know that.
yourself. When my kids went to college, I made them sign powers of attorney because the college would not talk to me about their money or their health. They're in a hospital 3 hours away. My daughter went to school in New York and at Fordham in the Bronx, right? I'm in Philadelphia. Sorry, she's a grown up.
Well, you know what's interesting was you're talking about caregivers. My mother's pastor's wife has Alzheimer's.
Oh,
And he, because he's a man of the cloth and strong, would not reach out for caregiving help. The long and short story about that is she's still living. He is not.
25% of caregivers die before the person they're caring for.
Wow.
Wait, say that again, because I don't think
not
people
know
even
that number.
acknowledge that. 25.
25% of caregivers die before the person they're caring for. The stress is enormous.
Yeah.
I'm not actually going to say we're really good about resources as a nation, but a perfect example there, Barbara, is if that's a church, there were probably tons of people who
Asking.
wanted to help.
Yes, there were.
Churches are the most amazing places for help.
There were some, my mother included.
Yeah.
Why just let us help? I got it.
So here we are, right? So here we are.
Yeah.
And
it's so sad because
it's very sad.
This is normal now, right? Like you said, right?
Yeah.
Very extraordinarily normal. And it's not, I know I'm throwing my numbers at you constantly, but here's another one.
Okay.
60,
make it, because
10,000 people a day right now are turning age 65 a day.
Boomers.
Oh, that's
Exactly. And those people are going to turn 75 and they're going to turn 85 and somebody's going to have to take care of them.
I'm going to be good till I'm 105. So there you
go. And at 104, you're going to need somebody to take care of you.
That's what you want to say. Well, and you know what's scary to me is that these Gen Zers can barely take care of themselves. So we need.
Oh, but they're going to learn, even if it's the hard way.
I love that, Kathy.
And this is the deal. You as a boomer can put some things in place. If you're the person who says, I don't want to burden my children, okay, what do you have in place? Did you buy long-term care insurance? Do you have a financial plan? Did you move out of that big, huge 5-bedroom house and into a community where you can't just say those things.
Right.
You have to take action and make a plan, even little plans, because no plan is a plan. It's a plan to be in chaos.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
So every mini crisis like that, sadly, your cousin is suffering right now, but let's give your cousin, it's both your cousins, right? The cousin mom and cousin daughter.
Mhm.
Let's give your cousin mom kudos for at least having that power of attorney.
Right.
Like she thought about it. That was a plan. I give her 100 points for that, right? So you got to start thinking about this, people, and planning and talking about it. Can I hold up my book so they see 12
Yes, you absolutely
conversations?
can.
Every chapter is a conversation with somebody, your mom, your dad, your parents together, your lawyer, your financial advisor, your work.
How do
If
we
you're a
get it?
caregiver, right? Oh, Amazon, Kathy Sikorsky, Amazon. You're right. I'm everywhere. You type in Kathy Sikorsky on the internet, you're going to get 4 pages about me. That's what happens.
I love it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't want to
All
have
good.
conversations, but they are so needed. And the older I get, the more comfortable I get with having these kind of conversations. But I find that some of the people that I need to have them with are still not willing to talk about it. Do you have any tips outside of your book? I mean, we got to go get 12 conversations, but can you give us a tip today?
Absolutely. Right now, of course, baby steps, talk about one thing. Or, mom, I'm going to go to the lawyer and get my powers of attorney. I want you to come with me. You don't have to do anything. I want you to hear what I'm doing. I'm doing this for me. And while you're there, it's pretty likely that she'll get her stuff done as well. Or she'll at least hear the conversation about why it's important.
And it's a seed, and it'll be planted.
Right, exactly. Or, mom, I heard your friend Helen has done all her legal work. Let's ask her who her lawyer is and go let's talk to Helen about it, see what she did, and then let's go see that lawyer. Or, mom, our pastor, maybe we should talk to him about some of the things that were, if you feel comfortable talking to him about it, let's go talk to him. If they have a person who's not you that they think is wiser, enlist their help as well. If they really won't talk about it with you, they may talk about it with their wiser person, whoever that is.
Just gave me an idea. I need to, one of my clients is a financial, she does real estate for the elders. People are doing reverse mortgages and that thing.
Nice.
And she's doing also workshops with all the peripheral services, attorneys and hospital caregivers and hospice and all those kinds of people.
Excellent.
We should probably put something like that on for the church as an aside.
Would be awesome. And then you should see, honestly, if within your church you have those people, right? Do you have lawyers in there who do this kind of work?
We probably have some that do
accountants, financial advisors, hospice providers, right? Right? Yeah, it'd be awesome. That's an awesome event. And I dare to say it would be truly well attended.
So yeah, that's an idea. I like that. Thank you so much for dropping that.
Yeah.
What else you got, Shawnee?
And that's part of why we do the show, is really to show somebody who's lived it. You're a credible messenger. I'm a credible messenger. Barbara's a credible messenger. We've been there. Yeah. And so many people can just learn from what we've done, what has happened to us, and not have to experience the full chaotic foolishness of it all.
Because it's chaos.
I mean, I'm an elder lawyer because my grandmother moved in with me, and then I had to take care of my aunt and my great aunt and my husband's aunt. And I ended up being a caregiver for 8 different family members and friends over the last 30 years. Not my job.
What?
Yeah, true story. Yes. My best friend fell down a flight of stairs and had a traumatic brain injury, and her husband left her because he couldn't handle it. And she had no family here. So somebody had to step in. So I stepped in. We had a couple other friends who stepped in. My brother-in-law, my sister died of breast cancer in her 40s, and my brother-in-law got multiple sclerosis after she passed away, the worst possible kind. So I was his caregiver for 7 years. And those were at the same time, those 2 people. And my grandmother and my aunt, like I said, it was just.
And you still have hair?
I don't dye my hair either.
Get out.
Genetics. Don't give me any credit for that.
Yeah, I don't dye mine either. Can't you tell?
I know, but I'm just like nice genetic. That's the gift that I've been given for all this caregiving.
Right, you gotta get something, right?
Yeah.
But you are such a delight.
I gotta honestly tell you, I learned more, I think, as a caregiver than as an elder lawyer. Like I can give you all the legal stuff and I can help you walk through the nursing home situation, but the practical stuff, I learned that in the trenches. Yeah.
And that's typically how we do learn. We
Yeah.
don't learn that academically. We don't
Right.
learn it from books. We learn it from being, and oh, by the way, we learn it from being in the trenches, as you said. And most of our passions come from
Come from that.
being in the
Yes.
trenches, having
Yes.
done it, having had to endure the scrapes, the behind concrete scrapes that have skipped along the concrete.
Right. Right.
That's
Right?
I'm all about the visual. I'm all about the visual.
I like it.
But,
Now, just
but
to bring up in one of my favorite chapters in my other book, which is sure, yeah, okay, Who Moved My Teeth, which is oh yeah,
like, who moved my cheese?
What's the subtitle?
Preparing for self, loved ones, and caregiving.
Okay, who moved my teeth?
Who moved
I
my
love
teeth?
that.
That is exactly why it's about a take on Who Moved My Cheese, because that book, so popular in business, was about dealing with unexpected changes at work, right?
Right.
Well, this is unexpected changes in life, right? But there's a chapter in there where I give you 60 things to do with the person that you're sitting with in a nursing home, because you think this is, it's tedious and it's boring and it's whatever, but you can, and that's from doing it, right?
Right.
You can find ways to make this joyous and loving, even in the light of the things that are hard about it.
Well, there needs, probably I should write this book. There needs to be a book about when they're in caregiving in other places in a facility.
Yes.
And you walk in and think
Yes.
that they should take care of them the same way you take care of them.
Right.
Right. And how do you manage those emotions? Like when my mother she was in a rehabilitation center, and I was livid when I came in to find out that her hip was dislocated. She had surgery on the hip replacement. The hip was dislocated and she laid in that pain all night because they didn't come check. She was ringing the buzzer, nobody came. I was livid. You hear me?
And you should be.
I went into barber mode. I'm gonna kick somebody's if y'all don't get in here and check on my mama. And she said to me, she put her hand on my leg and she said, "Honey, I will never forget this. Honey, I have to be here when you're gone."
Right. Exactly. These are the people. There's a balance, and you are absolutely right to be livid. And sometimes you need to be livid, whether she says that or not, because they need to be a little bit afraid of you.
Oh yeah,
there's value in that. Let me just say.
I told you before the show started, that look that I give you without the smile, when my mother says, "You better smile all the time."
Right. I mean, working together with care providers is really, really critically important. But nonetheless, we are advocates. Yeah. And this is the other thing that people are thrown into. Shani, Barbara, Kathy, we're thrown into advocating for our, not just being their daughter, not just showing up, not just, bringing candy.
Standing up for them.
Advocating. Mm-hmm. And so you also have to learn how to do that and what things that you can say and where you're right, you know. Yeah. And it's a learning curve, but there are books like mine out there that can help you. There are lots of websites. There's lots of people out there who this has grown into a big movement. Honestly, it really, truly has.
Yeah. Younger and younger and younger. My mom had dementia. Barbara's father had dementia as well. And that used to be something that you consider like an old person's disease that might have happened when they were in their 90s.
Right.
Got diagnosed and she was 65.
Yeah.
Right. Well, ladies, we could go on about this advocacy, about caregiving for the next 2.5 hours. However, we're about to run out of time. I want to ask Kathy a different question. She just before the show told me that she stepped away from all of the stuff, meaning the work. Some was good, some was not good. Talk to us about what happened, why you stepped away, and what happened as a result.
So I stepped away for some vacation, some family travel, whatever. But in the meantime, there were some other family issues that came up that required my instantaneous attention. And I had to put all my work aside. Fortunately, I was in a place where I could do that. It was bugging me in the back of my mind, but it didn't matter. First and foremost, what was happening in my life was more important. And I knew everything would be there when I was done. And I just said to Barbara when I came on, I said, I am so revitalized about work. Like this TV show came up at just the right time where I am excited about what I'm doing. I'm seeing all kinds of opportunity out there. There's lots of new and fun information that I can impart, and I'm just in a really healthy spot about work again, which hasn't happened for a long time.
Yeah, and when you stepped away, you got a chance to relax. Some of it wasn't so
Exactly.
relaxing, but you got a chance to relax, reignite, rejuvenate. And what would you say that was worth for you?
And I said $6,000. And she's like, how did you put a price on that? I said, because $6,000 is half of what I have now sitting in my prospective coffers for prospective work. And it's only half of what I, have accomplished because I took back some time and took some rest and took a point of view that was like, no, work is not for me right now. And I would say it doubled the value that I got from that.
Oh, what do you have to say about that, Shawnee?
I have to say, I'm going to figure out a way to do that before October because I need to definitely refuel. I like to say, like, life is always lifing, so it's always going to be it's about figuring out a way to schedule silence.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
Yes. And you really have to do it and stick to it. Take it. Take
And
it for what it's worth.
it's worth a lot. And
$6,000.
what happens is
Right.
we, as C-suite managers, attorneys, realtors, counselors, we are always pouring out to other people. We are always pouring out of an empty cup, a half full cup, a partially filled cup, when we should be pouring out from what's overflowing from us, but we can't ever get into the overflow because we don't what? Take time, scheduled time away. And we are giving you that opportunity in October. October 13, 14, and 15, we have a women's executive conference and retreat that's happening in Ocean City, Maryland at the beautiful Holiday Inn and Suites. And I got to tell you, we have a lineup that is to die for: coaching and mentoring, relaxation, yoga. The empowerment alone is worth the $6,000 that Kathy talked about. But besides that, the camaraderie, getting to meet people that you wouldn't otherwise have conversation with from around the world. As you know, I'm an international speaker, trainer, and coach, and I have been collected people from around the world. And now we're coming together. We're coming together to get our respite. Won't you be there? It's October 13, 14, 15, 2023 at the Holiday Inn and Suites. Every room is a suite on the water, either the bay side or the Atlantic Ocean side. You will see the water from your suite. Shawnee, what else you got?
I just want to make sure I see you there. I want to see you there so that you can see for yourself what the power of sisterhood is really all about.
It sounds awesome. I can't wait.
I
just found out about it and I can't wait.
I want to give you the last say, Kathy Sikorsky. First, we want to thank you so very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us here on the Empowering You Show. What would you give the audience as a last outtake? First, before you do that, give us where we can find you once again.
KathySikorsky.com. Just Kathy. Honestly, if you just type in Kathy Sikorsky, CathySikorski, you'll find me. You'll find me everywhere. Go to TikTok, see the videos with my 94-year-old mom. They're hilarious. You will enjoy them tremendously. And if you really want to talk to me about a legal problem or a caregiving problem, I mean, I'm only licensed in Pennsylvania, but I can give you general knowledge and maybe direct you to someone who does this kind of work wherever you are. you are welcome to get a 15-minute consultation with me. So go to my email, kathy.sikorsky@gmail.com. Send me a note and I'll get in touch with you and we'll make a time to talk.
Sounds good. One last thing you would tell the audience if they are in a caregiving situation that could help them along, what would you say?
You are awesome. You are the reason life is good. And so give yourself a big pat on the back, take some time for yourself. There's lots of ways to do that, even if it's just a little walk, and know that there's people out there who you don't even know who love you and will help you. And know that you are my people, and there's plenty of people like me who are here for you.
That is so good. Thank you so much, Kathy. Thank you so much, Shawnee. This has been a marvelous afternoon with you today. Well, you know what time it is. It's time for you to step into your greatness because the world is waiting for you. That's our time. We want to thank you for being here, and we'll see you next week.